wants to read.
No, it's important because.
Should I start looking for it then? No, listen, let me respond, innit? No, but either you say Sahih, bro, and prove it, or that's it.
Can you stop, please? I don't have control here.
Mohammed.
One of the best discussions. Alhamdulillah. This park, honestly.
Okay, before we start,
We'll do it after.
Quiet.
Wait, bro, I don't want him on the camera. He's a little kid.
no, put his hand up.
Without the camera. Without the camera.
Yeah, we'll do that
Just read without the camera. Come.
You guys are really eager today, aren't
You
you?
know the Zanji?
Yeah.
Without the what? You guys are
Without the camera.
the one you should.
It actually refers to a group of black people. It's not generally all black.
I know that, but even that is problematic.
But bro, did you know that there's even traditions that say about marrying black people, it says something along the lines that they steal and they...
Yeah, okay, all of those traditions, we reject them, right?
Yeah,
So do we reject them as well? So
They're not,
why
they're
is there
not,
the double
they're not in the
standards?
Sunni scriptures.
They are.
I'm talking about. I'm talking about. Look, this is my claim to you right now, yeah. And this is I'm doing naql. Why? Naql is when I'm taking from another scholar. Yeah, and I'm giving it to you because I'm not someone who can do istiqra.
Yeah, I understand.
Istiqra is a big thing.
You go through all the narrations, yeah.
Istiqra is when someone looks at all of the narrations.
All the narration and then.
Yeah, and makes a decision. So what I'm saying is Ibn Qayyim al-Jawziyah, who's well known, in the Islamic circle, his discussion of it, and not just him, but him particularly, because I know he spoke about this issue,
Bro, you know that...
Sorry, let me just finish it. He said that anything in the Islamic literature, Sunni Islamic literature, which refers to as Zunuj, the people from Sudan, which is at the time obviously below Egypt and stuff like that, Nubis, etc. And also any black people is a lie. That's what he said. Any lie meaning is not authentic. Now, on the flip side to that, what I'm saying is from the Shi'ite traditional perspective, we both agree and we've accepted that this hadith, that be aware of the Zunuj tribe, the black tribe, because they are a deformed creature.
Yeah, because they used to pierce things in their faces. And
well, I mean, they still do that now. We
They still do.
I mean, in Kenya, you go to Kenya, you're going to find tribes that people will put things in their faces and that. But
Bro, there is one saved tradition in your books.
But you know this word, mushawwah, do you know what it means in Arabic? And this is where...
Deformed, innit?
Deformity or abnormality or deformity,
Yeah, tashwih, literally when you have something...
But bro, you know what, you saying this...
They're not normal.
You saying this, right? But then at the same time, in Bukhari, you do have traditions where it describes, like, it says, obey your leader, even if he's Ethiopian, his head like a raisin.
Abyssinian.
This is not criticism.
No, bro. Okay, now...
You know,
You can explain it away, that's fine. But the point is...
That's not criticizing.
Can I answer that?
That's not criticizing.
No, because the idea is, look, first of all, Hadith was trying to say you got to obey your leader, whatever color they are.
Right.
And he said even if his head is as black as a raisin, it's like raisin black.
Yeah.
Because the raisin black.
So why does that seem lower in rank though?
No.
That by is suggesting it's lower in rank.
Well,
No.
Hold on. Let me tell you why. Let me give you the answer.
I want to understand it.
No, please, please.
I think both of us need to really get
let me just. No problem. We're going to talk about it. Yeah. But what I'm saying is that the reason, do you know there's Allah Akbar, this is really interesting. There's a hadith in Bukhari, and I'll come to the same one as well, of a woman, she was a black woman.
Yeah.
Black woman. She came to a Sahabi, I forget his name now, maybe we can find the name. And he and his wife were married. This is in Bukhari. A wife and husband were married, Now, what happened was that this black woman, she said, wait, hold on. I gave this man breast milk and I gave this woman breast milk. And in Islam, we know that if you give a man and a woman breast milk, they can't get married. Because you understand that,
I think I know the narration.
Okay, you know the narration. The Prophet, فَفَرَّقَ بَيْنَهُمَا. The hadith says, فَفَرَّقَ بَيْنَهُمَا. فَفَرَّقَ بَيْنَهُمَا means he divorced them. Now wait a minute, this is really interesting.
Separate them, not divorce.
Well, he separated them. فَرَّقَ بَيْنَهُمَا. But this means divorce. There was a divorce here. Do you know why? Because he divorced between those two, because her testimony was accepted. Now, who was she? She was a black woman. the two groups or subgroups of people which you would think are most ridiculed in society. Yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately.
He accepted, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, according to our hadith literature, the narration of a black woman over a narration of a man and his wife. Both of them went against her. They said, no, this didn't happen. They protested. But the Prophet, he accepted her narration over theirs.
We know the Prophet was on course.
No,
Not just that. I will add to this as well. There is another hadith in Bukhari as well. There is another hadith in Bukhari as well.
The sources on this topic?
Another Shakespeare.
Yeah, there is another hadith in Bukhari, which is Abdullah ibn Abbas was one of his students, and then they saw a black woman. Then Abdullah ibn Abbas said to his student, he said, do you want to see someone from the people of Jannah? He said, yes. He said, look at this black woman. She is one of the people in Jannah.
100%.
Yeah, she's one of the people of Jannah. That she is living on earth at that time, and she is one of the people of paradise. Then he asked him why. Then he said she came to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and she had kind of epilepsy. She used to faint. Right. And then she came to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam and she asked him, "O Messenger of Allah, I get faint. Make dua for me that Allah cure me from this disease." Right. Then our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said to him, "Will you be patient and you get Jannah and guarantee for Jannah?" She said, "Yes, but just only ask Allah for me when I faint that I'm not exposed. My awrah is not exposed." And then he said, do that. He made dua for her, and he told her that she will be one of the people of Jannah. That's why when Abdullah ibn Abbas, he said, if you want to look into the woman, one of the women of Jannah, look at this black woman. He said, so it's not kind of inferior or superior.
The thing is, I'm not doubting. I'm not doubting. I'm not doubting. Bro, I'm not doubting.
Defend yourself when you're not attacking me on that point. Do you understand?
Listen, look, the thing is, I don't disagree with these traditions. I have no problem accepting these traditions. And these traditions are beautiful because it demonstrates
equality.
How, yes, the Prophet presented equality.
And of course,
the reason why, let me just get to one point. The reason why we presented those on our channel was for a reason, because a certain channel accused our sect. Let me just finish. I don't mind. I'm just telling you. You said you watched a video that we done filming with racism. The reason why we released that was because another channel accused us of racism and said, look, you guys, the Sunni defense. You promote some of the videos sometimes.
Yes, I like them. They're good.
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay, bro, listen.
No, but let me just finish that. They accused our sect of racism. They accused our sect of racism, saying you have these messed up hadiths. So we said you have them too. We can play that game all day.
No.
So you don't have to defend yourself. We're not accusing you.
Okay, Reza, let me ask
We're not accusing you. You don't have to defend yourself.
I don't know. I don't read all the hadith.
Bro, just a quick point.
Yeah, of course, brother.
The Imam of Ahlul Bayt al-Islam,
Yes.
they had black mothers as well.
No problem. Okay, that's
So
all.
for us,
we don't have to.
Bro, listen, racism, unfortunately,
It's a very cheap. It's a very low blow.
exists.
It's a low blow.
Bro, one second.
Not you lot. Not you
Bro,
lot.
one second. Bro, let me finish. Racism almost exists in almost ethnic, almost every.
Said Ali, can I ask you a question?
Bro, you get racism from here in the UK. You could be a white guy from Scotland. You got somebody from the south of London, and they'd be like Scottish or whatever.
Like, say that, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
We have to. There's two. It's an interesting hadith of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. We have this, and it's sahih according to our scholars. Yeah. For example, Al-Albani authenticated it. Many other scholars authenticated it. Yeah. And it's the hadith of Abu Dharr al-Ghafari, who he said about Bilal ibn Rabah.
Right.
He said to her,
Ibn Sauda.
Ibn Sauda, oh, you son of a black woman. And he was very angry with him, and he reprimanded him, and he was, all these things.
Yes.
Now, I'm asking you a question, Allah, and it's very important, because here we've been
So
able
basically, what happened, bro?
It's your hadith, right?
Sorry, repeat that.
Did you say it was from your books, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Abu Dharr al-Ghafari was an Arab man.
Right.
He said to Bilal ibn Rabah, he said to him, Ya ibn Sauda, oh son of a black woman. So Bilal ibn Rabah, he went to the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
Complained.
And he complained. So the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he got very angry, and he told him, is this true? Is this true what you've been saying?
إنك امرؤ فيك جاهلية.
Yeah, and this is jahiliyyah. He said this is
from jahiliyyah.
So he clearly, look at it, he got angry, he condemned it, and he called it ignorant jahili act. It's one of the worst criticisms you can get. Actually, one of the worst criticisms. So here's my question. It's a question. It's not a challenge. It's just a question. Can you provide for me one Shi'Ah hadith which condemns racism against black?
Wait. 1 second, bro.
No, I just want to say. I want to know.
Okay, bro. Can I finish, bro?
No,
You asked the question.
Let me just specify exactly what I'm saying. I'm just. I don't know why are you laughing?
I'm just laughing, bro. What's the issue?
No. It's just
So you want one narration
I just want one narration
that criticizes racism.
as clear as the narration that we saw in our books, from a Shi'ite perspective. One clear hadith which says, and I'm not saying I know the answer.
Wasn't Abu Dhar? I was just a question. My reasoning wasn't Abu Dhar black himself.
No, he wasn't. He was like
Are you
my
sure?
colour. Yeah, he was Arab.
He's dark.
It was dark. Okay.
Yeah. So,
Yemen, yeah.
nice try. But
No, I was just thinking, nice try. You don't have to say,
Let me
I
reply.
can't laugh, but you can say nice try. It's just a thing, bro.
No, he wasn't black. So
I was asking.
Yeah, no problem. He wasn't black.
Yeah, there's not to say
bro,
nice try.
Yeah. So now,
Can I respond?
Yes, of course.
You asked for one narration,
Yes.
okay?
Yes.
There's
From
a
the
whole-
Shi'ah traditions.
Can I finish now,
Yes,
Sheikh,
yes.
please?
Yes, of course.
There's a whole chapter
Yes.
in Al-Kafi, volume 1, that talks about racism, and it says if anybody has a mustard of seed in his heart of racism,
Let's get the Arabic
he's-
out.
Bro, I'll get
Now
you
we're going to go to the Arabic game.
Because we're
Bro,
not.
listen, with respect, yeah?
No.
Like, obviously, you brought...
Did we respect your traditions?
listen.
We didn't ask you to quote the hadith
No.
or the
But we
book.
did quote a hadith.
No, one second,
you
say,
didn't.
listen.
You just said Abu Dhar. You never quoted the hadith for
No,
reference.
we quoted it. If you want me to quote, I can.
Bro, listen. I'm telling you now that in Al-Kafi,
I'll be willing to accept it.
yeah, I'll find it for you, but then it's only fair. Every time you present something, I'll do exactly the same thing with you.
No problem. I said
Is that fair?
the hadith of إياكم والزنوج فإنهم خلق مشوه. I've just said it in Arabic. That's exactly the hadith. That's what's been authenticated.
To be honest with you, bro,
Book, number, reference, that's what you're asking us for, isn't it?
hold on.
No, I've said the Arabic. Can I have the Arabic?
But you're asking us for what? The Arabic or
The
the
Arabic.
book
That's
of the
why hear
reference?
how the Arabic sounds.
You can find it for him. Say
So here, I'm saying that.
This is going to be a waste of time, but anyway, okay.
But I mean, I just want to understand your agenda. Are you trying to accuse
No, it's
Shias
not
of having
agenda.
rape?
Agenda is not agenda.
There's no agenda.
Why ask them?
I'm simply asking
He's asking for one hadith.
I just want to know why.
Shia.
I just want to know why.
why.
Yeah.
Because he's curious. He probably wants to say, well, obviously he's trying to make a point.
Do you think there's
He's
racism
trying
in
to make
Shiism? I just want to ask where you're coming
I
from.
have not done istiqra. I have not.
I'm just asking. I'm just asking.
Let me just answer. I think because when you have a hadith, when you have a hadith, strong one, pro this act, saying إياكم والزنوج فإنهم خلق مشوه. We have this hadith with the highest standard, which is be careful or the dummary of the black the zunuj, the black zunuj, because they are deformed people. This is a problem. Now we need another hadith in the same standard to condemn that. In order for us to have balance.
You're not accusing you of racism, Sheikh.
I understand. I understand.
Why are you so defensive?
But no, I'm not defensive. We are asking. We're not the one.
Okay, fine.
We are asking. You need to have a hadith.
Have you come across having racism in Shia before?
One second.
Did you ask it?
That hadith.
Say it, 1 second, yeah?
Sure,
Firstly, this tradition you brought up about racism, okay, which obviously, it's Sahih, you said it's Sahih by Albani or whatever, right?
No.
That's fine, yeah?
Which one?
The one he just mentioned about Abu Zar rebuking, who's it again?
Bilal.
I'll be pleased with him, yeah? So the point is...
And by the way, we have, for example, Hala bint Auf.
Yeah.
She married.
Yeah. Bro, that's fine, that's no problem. I just gave you an example. I said the Imam
Hala bint Auf married a black man as well.
Yeah.
Okay, so the idea is that we have intermixing within black community and Arab community. By the way, do you know I was doing research because sorry, this is going to sound a bit tangential. I'm like.
Sorry, bro, can I just finish?
Sorry, let me just finish my point.
Go.
Just to lighten the mood, okay? Go for it. I done a DNA test, and basically about 1/5 of my body is Nigerian or something like Western.
Yeah, I've heard it comes up with that 2% or whatever.
No, I was like 20% or 20. So I can't remember, like a big number, yeah.
Yeah.
So I was wondering, why am I? Because if it was East African, East African, because East Africa is close to North Africa, right? Because I'm originally from Egypt. So I thought, what's this going on? Yeah. I done some research, Sheikh, on the Qurayshis, yeah. And what I realized is that we have a long-standing tradition. I've got the sources for this. I'm just giving it to you as an interesting point. Nothing academic here, yeah. But because black people had certain characteristics, muscular and whatever, they do have even now to this day. I mean,
You say so?
Yes, don't get jealous now. No, black people have certain characteristics.
They have very good genetics.
Yeah, for sprinting and
of course.
Well, like,
Yeah, of course.
so the Arabs started to intermix with them, especially the Qurayshis. That's why, because I was wondering why.
That's where you came from.
I've got a bit of pigment. You got a bit of pigment as well.
Pakistani, bro.
Have you checked your DNA? Maybe you have some. You never know.
No, I'm saying by ancestry, but I'm Pakistani by recent, isn't it?
No, I mean like, have you checked your DNA, like the whole?
I have checked the whole chain now.
It's interesting. You should try.
Inshallah.
I don't know to what extent it's
But a lot of our imams married into black
I
races.
already said that already.
So I don't understand. So if that's our main, we take our religion from our imams, yeah. So if that's the case,
Which
What's it, man?
Imam what? Imam Ali, Ali
Imam
Raza?
Muhammad Baqir
Muhammad
al-Islam.
Baqir.
Actually, Imam Raza al-Islam.
Imam Raza?
Imam Raza is
Imam Jawad, Imam Taqi al-Jawad.
Okay, bro,
Yeah.
so
So I mean, so like.
Yeah, sorry. Say Ali wanted to
understand the
say
maqsad.
Ali. Go ahead, please. Yes.
You were the only one that was safe above silence.
okay, so
Yes, say Ali. Go ahead.
so basically, bro, what I was going to come back to you, I was going to show you the tradition from Al-Kafi, I was going to bring you that up, yeah? So the point is, look, at the end of the day, I'm not going to stand here and like throw blows because I can show you...
I'm not trying to
Bro,
blow
let me
anyone.
finish, bro. I didn't interrupt you, bro. Let me finish. So what I'm trying to say to you, bro, look, at the end of the day, we have chapters dedicated in our books that talk about racism, okay? And the Imams of Ahlul Bayt al-Islam, they too themselves, their mothers were from black descent as well.
So is that
But a lot of them are from
example-
slave women.
Yeah, and
exactly. they're not wives.
Some of these women were slave women.
No, I would ask you a question.
Yeah.
Give me one Zinji woman, one black
Not
woman.
Zanji, bro, because Zanji is different.
One
Zanji
woman
is
from the
different.
Sudan, from the Nubians, from the Zinjis, that the Imams married.
What?
And not had her as
Their mom was.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not asking you a question. Not talking about the skin color. I'm talking about black from the subcontinent, from the sub-Saharan African region.
Yeah.
So Sudan, from the known Arab places.
Do you know what, bro? Should I tell you something? This topic, I'll be honest with you, this topic...
Yeah, it's
wait, 1 second.
Because if I asked you the same question, could you answer it?
Listen, Said, 1 second, Said. Hold on 1
I
second.
could answer it right now. Hela bint Auf.
Okay.
She's an Arab woman.
Okay, I mean,
who-
it means you've done your research.
No.
Fair enough. But I mean,
Zayn,
what's your angle? I need to understand your angle because you're accusing us of racism, essentially.
No, I'm not accusing you of racism.
Of sex.
School, innit? Yeah, he's
Okay, I'm
You're trying to
say
school
it.
us over a topic where you've done research, you've come here before, and then you're trying to...
let me finish.
I've not done research. I know.
You know the
things.
names.
Said, you chat to him. I'll
I
come
know.
back.
It's fine,
No,
because
say, you
I
chat
find
to
the
him.
topic
Trust me.
useless. I find the topic useless, I'll be honest.
It is a...
Well, it's
It's a useless topic.
But you know when black people are mistreated, I'm not being funny, but
It's a useless topic for me, to be honest. And you guys can
Okay,
say
let
that.
me comment.
It's a useless topic.
Zayn, it's not useless.
If you find it...
Let me tell you
Yeah,
something.
it's fine.
Let me tell you something. It's not useless. Racism is a big thing, yeah? And let me be frank with you. In our countries, in our Arab countries, in Pakistan and these things, the black person comes to these countries, sometimes they're mistreated, akhi.
I'll speak to you, bro, properly after.
No problem. But they're mistreated, so we have to address these things as Muslims.
I'm done. I'm not going to talk to him.
Do you understand?
Then stay here. I mean, stay here.
Please listen to what I'm saying. I know you might not find it as important, but I
No, bro,
find it
of course, it's very important. How can you say no, bro? It's very important, bro.
Right.
No, we're not saying it's not important, but I just don't understand the agenda.
Say, listen, as I explained to you before,
Okay,
bro, as I explained to you before,
yeah.
our books heavily criticise racism.
Can we have the...
Yeah, that's no problem, bro. I'll show you that. I've got no issue, I can show you that.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
But having said that, the tradition you presented from, which book was it from? You mentioned the tradition of Abu Zar criticising
That's
Bilal.
in more than one book.
It's mentioned in whatever book
it's
it is,
more
and
than
it's
one book.
Sahih, yeah?
Yeah.
But this criteria was not accepted by all Sunni scholars. And the
one?
reason why I say that,
Which criteria?
for example, marrying black people.
What about Hela bint Auf?
Okay, yes,
What about Bilal bin Rabah, who buried one of the
I
Qurayshis?
agree with you. I don't disagree.
What
with
about
you.
Julaybib, he married from the
what I'm saying
Ansar?
to you,
So there is a lot-
some of your scholars did give fatwas, for example, saying
we
an
know.
Arab can't marry
We
non-Arab.
condemn those scholars.
Do you know the difference?
I don't know
Let me just say.
Yeah.
Do you know the difference between Sunnis and Shias? There is a core thing between us. The core thing that for us, if a scholar make a mistake, we don't follow it. As simple as that.
Neither do we.
As simple as
Neither
we
do
don't do taqlid. No, you do taqlid. You believe in taqlid.
Neither do we.
No,
I don't believe in
I do
mistake, we won't follow it.
I do tabi.
Yeah.
I do tabi and taqlid.
So do
fiqh.
you do taqlid?
In fiqh.
No, it's different.
Okay.
Taqlid,
In
like,
fiqh.
like for example,
In fiqh, for example,
Islamic
that's why, for example,
In Islamic jurisprudence,
So-
yeah.
so-
yeah.
All we're talking about is an opinion of scholars.
That's one of the
If
things.
someone gets it wrong, you
for
don't follow
example,
him.
for
Same
example,
thing. So what's the
before we were talking about
This is hadith and this is
The point is, you don't follow them, right?
yeah, for us,
He
that's
based
why
it
for
on
us,
hadith too.
for us, we do. If he said it, whatever he
talk
said,
about this all
we
day, but it's
don't
not
need to
gonna
take it.
Sheikh, I agree. I don't disagree with that. I'm saying that look, if you want to be fair, just the same way you may disagree with the statement of some scholars who may have issued fatwas, like Suyuti, he wrote a whole book about racism. But I'm not going to discuss what
He's
his
black
book is.
himself.
He was black himself.
Do you know where? Do you know where Asyuti is from?
No, I don't know.
Okay. Do you know why he's called Asyuti?
Jalaluddin Suyuti, I don't know.
Do you know why?
It was something to do with. Done, bro. Done.
It's not really good to mock and laugh just because someone doesn't know.
No.
Because
No, he's taking the piss.
He's from.
Say it. No, it's fine.
Calm down, man.
No, I mean, you can't just laugh at that. Like, good, just laughing with your shake. Oh,
But you were laughing all the time.
But I'm not laughing at you guys.
You were
I'm
laughing all the time. We were quiet.
Let me speak to the first one.
They take the piss when they talk.
Done.
Okay, you're very, very upset.
Done, bro.
But the issue of racism is a real one, which is affecting communities.
100%, bro.
No, well, and that's why I don't appreciate his attitude.
No, that's fine, bro.
He says it's not
I
important.
apologise
No,
on his behalf. But anyway,
No,
so
fine.
coming back to Suyuti, what was
Suyuti.
Yeah, Asyuti is from Asyut,
Asyut.
which is lower Egypt.
Right.
Like Upper Egypt, we call Upper Egypt.
But it
which
doesn't
is-
mean he's black, bro.
No, he was black. Anyone
He
from
wrote
that
a whole
area,
book, bro. He wrote a
anyone
whole
in
book.
that area is black.
Right.
I know because my family are from that area.
Yeah.
Do you know that? My
okay,
uncle
okay.
is as black as this man here. My mum's from Nigeria. Maybe that's the reason. My uncle's like this guy.
Right.
I'll show you a picture one day.
Okay.
The reason why my mum's brother is like this guy's color, and the reason why is because he.
You know, I cannot.
Anyways,
By the way, come.
this guy Asyuti is from Asyut, which is now the point I'm making to you is. What I want to say to you is, bro, this is a very important issue.
Yeah, absolutely.
We've been, as Muslims,
I think, inshallah, next time,
as Muslims, we need to be very introspective about it because people from the non-Muslim community are hammering us about the issue of racism,
right?
And we need to be very introspective. Now, what I'm essentially saying is that I'm not here to accuse the Shia community of being racist. I'm not saying that. I know many Shias. I've been around it. I've been, they know me and I know them. Yeah. I'm not saying that they're racist. I don't know much about Iranian society, for example, with the black Santa Claus, whatever. I don't know about this thing. I don't care. Right. I don't know what that means even. Yeah. They have a black Santa Claus, by the way. It's interesting. In Iran, this Santa Claus is black. One time they had the black Santa Claus that got beaten up in the area. My friend was telling me about it because the blacks were upset with the guy because he their Santa Claus black. He colors so it's a white guy. He puts a black skin on black thing, and then one day he did that. Some blacks saw him and then said, "What are you doing? You're trying to take But they didn't realize that was part of Iranian culture. Whatever. I mean, I don't know. I don't know, bro. Look, okay.
Anyways, the point. One second, bro. Look, the thing is, bro. At the end of the day. Racism, as I said to you before,
it's a problem in Saudi Arabia to Iran to everywhere.
I know a Pakistani brother couldn't marry Arab sister because his father wanted her daughter to marry Arab. Do you understand? As an example,
that's true. That's what we need to condemn.
Racism unfortunately exists. Okay.
I think you're very sensible, and I appreciate your approach to this.
Right.
The other brother's approach was.
Bro, look at the he's gone now. So let's
upset about it.
I think he's more interested in polemical subjects as opposed.
This is polemical.
This is a social. It's more of a current relevant.
It's totally important, guys.
Bro,
it's totally
100%.
important.
And inshallah, next time,
because
it would only be fair if I bring those things. But as I said, if you watch Times TV...
Do you reject the hadith which says,
the scholars have a different opinion.
So, no, do you reject it?
No, it was particular to a certain group from the people of Zanj who were not believers.
Do you accept that? No, even if they're believers or non-believers. It's about black people being deformed. Do you reject the hadith?
Bro, I didn't interrupt you when you spoke. So let me finish.
Yeah, of course.
So if you look at the traditions, like any traditions, you put them all together, you look at it, it's referring to a certain group of people.
Even though I'm saying, despite the fact that it refers to a subgroup of blacks,
yes,
I'm asking you, do you accept this hadith?
Bro, it's same in your books as well.
No, we don't accept this hadith.
We don't accept it. We said here, we're condemning it. Simple.
Okay, so why are you trying to force your opinion on me to accept it?
No, I'm not saying that. Do you accept it?
No, we're not saying to accept or not.
I believe it was specific to a certain group of people.
But is that acceptable in your eyes? Or do you not think that's racist?
No, it could nothing to do racist because it's not talking about black people. It's talking about a certain tribe of people.
Let me ask you a question.
I can say to you, isn't it racist to say, well, Arabs cannot marry non-Arabs?
Yeah, that is racist.
Or isn't it racist to say, well, Arabs are not allowed to marry Turks? And by the way, these are statements of your scholars.
Yeah, if they said they're racist,
bro, these are your scholars.
That's different from
simple.
hadith.
We say it's
racism. I'm asking you a simple question.
We say that's racism, even if it comes from a scholar.
Sheikh,
we say it is racism.
Let me tell him one thing. Let me get someone who's not Muslim. Gabs, can you come here, please? Can you come in? Gabs, please, just for 1 minute. You're a black man, yeah?
Yeah, I think so.
Where are you from? What country are you from? Originally, do you know?
Half night, yeah.
Gabs, did you watch?
Okay, please, let me just ask you a question. If I said to you, look, I'm going to say just this like this. You're Nigerian, half Nigerian. Yeah. If I say, beware of Nigerians, for they are deformed creatures. If I said this, they are deformed creatures. If I said, beware of Nigerians, for they are deformed creatures. Is that a racist statement? Yes or no?
Inshallah.
My friend, you're Nigerian.
Okay, inshallah. I will join you, inshallah. I will join you.
Is that the whole race?
Yeah. So, Gabs, wait.
No, that's not right.
Wait. Stop.
Let me ask a
question. Okay, that's, you know what side we're going to take. If I said to you, beware of the Somalis, for they are deformed creatures. What would you say about that? Is that racist or not? Racist. Brother, where are you from? Nigeria. I say, beware of the Nigerians, for they are deformed creatures. What do you say about that? Racist. You don't believe it's racist?
Nah,
Shiite?
that's what I was going to ask you.
Yeah, all right. Come here.
Bro,
Why do you say that in? My friend, come here. Where are you from?
it's not racist. It's not racist.
I say beware of the Eritreans, they are deformed.
It's not racist.
Racist, yes? He says it's racist. All right, let's leave it to the comment section. Let's leave it to the comment section. I am completely convinced. Brother Leon, let me ask you a question. If I said to you, where are you from here? Jamaican. I said, beware of the Jamaican, they're deformed people. What do you think about that? Is that racist, yes or no?
Okay, so brother Hijab.
لا بنتفق في مواضيع مختلفة. كل مرة شيء معين.
Martin, give me your answer. Where are you from?
What country, area?
What country?
Cameroon.
Cameroon. Okay, you beat the Egyptians in the final. Okay, bro.
Sorry, say again?
Bro, we finished.
Say again. Yeah, tell me.
I say, beware of the Cameroonians.
It's fine.
Yeah, beware of them because they are deformed.
That's not racist.
Is that racist?
Creatures.
Deformed creatures.
They're deformed.
Creatures.
What are you basing that on?
They're not. If I said that, it's racism. That's the point.
It is. That's
That's the point.
because you're generalizing a whole country.
Yeah, exactly. That's the point.
I don't know.
Black people. Yeah, let me ask you a question as a black man.
Okay,
What is it? Okay, it might not be racist, but it's offensive.
As a black man.
you want to chat to them?
Okay, it's offensive and it's discriminating.
Now, if I said come to the religion of Islam, why has to
Bro, are you chatting to them or speaking to me, bro?
No, he's asking me a question.
majority of blacks say
Okay, so let me do the count. Wait. Let me. Okay, one second.
Anyway. Listen.
Sheikh, you've done your job now, mashallah, you can go. Okay,
By the way, for you to know,
Okay, let me
I didn't come for that. For
I
you.
know what you came for, Sheikh. I know exactly what you're looking for.
Okay. That's one thing. I just followed to
Allah knows the years better, innit?
Someone called me, they said some of the Shi'as, they wanted to
We
have
came and talked
discussion.
about black people, Shi'ism's racist, you lot can go now.
That's not my agenda.
I don't like these games, man. I don't like these games. If brother Mohammed, for me they are. It's subjective, that game, right? Just right now. Let's talk to all the black people and prove Shi'ism's racist. What you did there, bro? It's games. Wait, one second. Games, bro, listen. What you did there,
you have to remain calm.
Bro, what you did there was wrong.
Why?
To tell you why it's wrong.
Why?
Because I can go to every black person and say, what does you black brothers think about somebody who calls you a distorted creation or somebody who calls you your embryos? Stay away from your embryos.
Yeah, I say it's racist.
Stay away from your bellies and genitals.
Racist.
So these are found in your books as well, bro.
Racism. We reject them. We reject them.
Give fatwas on them, bro.
We reject them.
The scholars will give fatwas.
Simple. We reject them. Simple.
All right, right now I want you to curse all the. Wait. I'm talking about a subject. Okay.
So, do you know the point, Sayyid Ali?
Let me finish.
The point is, he's saying to you, we reject these things. We say we reject them. We condemn them. We say it's wrong and it's racism, regardless whoever said it. Yeah.
Right.
Now that's the point.
Right.
As the Prophet ﷺ, he criticized Abu Dharr, which is a respected scholar in our eyes.
Yeah.
He alayhi salatu wasalam, he criticized
Imam
them,
Shafi.
and he told him that.
Imam Shafi confirmed this hadith. Okay. I'll show you. I've got the scan in Arabic.
Okay,
Go.
okay.
Imam Shafi said, when it comes to black people, he said, okay, listen to this. He goes, when they get hungry, they steal, and when they're full, they fornicate.
Okay. That's why. Where is that? Where is that? Where is that? Where is that? That's racism.
110
Okay, listen. That's racism. That's racism.
There's no argument.
That's racism. Very simple.
That's racism.
That's racism.
Wherever that came from, that's racism.
Whoever said it, listen. We don't know. That's racism. We condemn it. Listen, we condemn it. If anyone who said it, we say it's wrong. It's racism. Do you see how we stand? Listen.
Imam Shafi, he's one of the four.
He doesn't know.
Imam Shafi.
We condemn it. We say if he said it. Now we don't know where it was the source.
Listen.
What you source. But even though we say it's wrong, we say it's racism. Very clear cut. You see our question. What you respond to us about this hadith? You said some scholar has said yeah, some scholar said no. Let's check. That's what you said. We said.
Sorry, bro. Do you know what it is?
We said clearly we condemn it. Very simple. Whoever said it.
Anyone who's racist.
Whoever said
Wrong.
it. Yeah, that's why we asked when he asked you the question
I think it's unfair,
about
bro.
the zin. He said, "Can you condemn this hadith?"
Yes,
he asked
bro.
you a very clear.
No.
But you said, "Oh, some scholar they said it's wrong."
What did Imam Shafi say?
Okay, I'll show you. He says that when it
Where
comes
is that?
Okay, I'll show you.
What book? What book? Let's check now.
Okay, bro, no problem.
Don't talk to him, bro.
Let's check.
Let me finish. Hold on.
Because sometimes
Imam
people they always say Bukhari, and then we
He only
find
wrote 4 or 5 books.
which book? Which
3
book?
or 4 books. Kitab al He wrote Kitab al
Which is not related
Says,
to.
when black people are hungry, they steal.
Where? Which book?
Where is that? Which book? Which book?
Okay,
I could say Imam al-Baqir said such.
The book is called Al-Maqasid Al-Hasana, page 1112. And
Here.
Maqasid, I'll show you the scan. I've got the scan, no problem. So he says...
We condemn it either way. It's not.
We condemn it. Simple.
It's not religion.
Bro,
It's not religion.
I'm not doubting you, Kidam. I don't.
No, but
I don't doubt,
your
bro.
one is hadith.
Bro, I don't doubt your sincerity.
Your one the Imam
Bro,
said it.
listen to me. I don't doubt your sincerity. I know you can admit it.
Okay.
So why would you assume that I would support racism, bro?
I'm not saying anything.
Right.
I have not said today.
I just told you, bro, that there's a whole
I'm not saying
chapter
why.
in Al-Kafi condemns racism.
No, I want to know what that's called in Arabic so I can see what.
We asked you to bring us.
Historical though, even if he said it, it might have been something that was going on at that time.
That's what that's what I said, sister.
We asked you.
Disagree with you.
Shafi might have said it at that time.
Sister, this is my point as well.
That's the same argument.
Not necessarily. We don't know if Shafi said it. By the way.
If you want to accept it for Imam Shafi, then you have to accept it for us as well.
I
think this is invented something. It's not true.
No, unfortunately, listen, racism, sister, exists in almost every culture.
By the way, here. This hadith, listen. This hadith called المقاصد الحسنة في بيان كثير من الأحاديث المشتهرة على الألسنة. يعني the people who say it all the time, he's condemning these ahadith.
He's condemning it.
Yeah, that's the hadith. This is the book you brought. And by the way, it's not for Shafi'i. It's for you to know. That's for you to know as well. It's for Sakhawi. Yeah, مقاصد الحسنة. He said means the book. All the people they will say, for example, the people they will say a hadith.
Who's the book?
That's here Sakhawi. Here. That's the hadith. How could you get you the PDF?
Okay.
So, al-Maqasid al-Hasana, he is condemning, criticizing. Hold on, just a minute. I will just. He is criticizing the hadith that the common public say. قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم such and such. Yeah. Some people they said من أكل الباذنجان 40 يوما لم يقربه الشيطان. Whoever ate aubergines 40 days, no shaitan will come to him. So these people they will say it. He is condemning, criticizing these people who fabricate hadith. That's the hadith. So you brought. This is the problem. That's the problem. Before you brought a hadith that in the book condemning fabricated hadith on the tongue of the people, and he said these are fabricating, saying people claim that the Prophet has said it, and you brought it. You said that's maqasid al-hasan. This is the hadith of the Prophet, but the people they used to say it, and he is criticizing it. Sakhawi in the book.
Open the page number.
You see?
Wait. Open the page number, please.
Listen.
Do you know why, Sheikh? Should I tell you why?
That's a problem. That's a problem. Oh, Shafi'i said, Subhanallah, what Shafi'i said? Then maqasid al-hasan.
Said Hassan. The point is, as far as Ali.
Yeah, go on.
And Shi'Ah, Hassan Ali.
Yeah, go on.
But the point is that what I'm trying to say is that I know that Shafi'i wrote 3 or 4 books, and Maqasid al-Hasana, as far as I remember, wasn't one of them.
No, it's not. It's from a student.
No.
Sakhawi.
It wasn't one of them. At any rate, we said very clearly, what we want from you guys is, there's 2 challenges, Sheikh. Let's just keep it very simple, yeah? We'll keep it very simple for the people. We've been able to provide evidences. And by the way, we've done the same thing with Christians, and we've done the same thing with Jews. And the reason why we're doing this is because we're trying to put a thesis forward. You know what the thesis is? And this, wallah, I'm going to say this. If you can't find the ahadith, I'm going to make this thesis very clear and open. Sunni Islam is the only racially fully...
Sorry, bro, one thing.
Let me finish.
When you say Sunni Islam, do you represent the Sufi community, the Deobandi community?
When I say
Sunni sources.
Let me answer that question. When I say Sunni, I'm not talking about anyone who identifies themselves as Sunni. That's what I'm saying, which includes all of the aforementioned that you mentioned. Yeah, anyone who identifies themselves as Sunni. And I will even go further because that's a good question. What is a Sunni? Ibn Taymiyyah, he writes in his book, Minhaj al-Sunnah, he said there's 2 kinds of Sunni. Yeah, I'm using. He says himself, there's 2 kinds of Sunni. He says there's Sunni which even includes the Mu'tazili, this and that, which are firaq, we would say Dala, which are like deviated sects, but they are basically not Shi'ah.
Their sources are
the sources are the same as ours.
not Khawarij.
They're not. Not even the Khawarij have the same sources as we do.
No, not all.
The point is, what I'm saying is that Sunni Islam is the only religion, mainstream world religion in the face of the earth, which is racially inclusive, and it includes black people, white people, Arabs, non-Arabs. That's why we find very clearly in the hadith.
And what Shi'ism isn't?
No. What we've been able to ascertain right now is that the hadith, the sources that describe anti-racism in Sunnism.
Well, I just told you that we have a whole chapter dedicated.
No, but you haven't been able to show that to us. You said it.
I just said to you, there's a whole chapter. I'll bring that. But what I want
can we bring it? Because I don't think racism was a term. No, hold on.
Yeah.
Sorry, you said there's a whole chapter dedicated to racism.
Yes.
The word racism, there is no Arabic equivalent.
Right.
So it could be that it was against tribalism.
Right.
And that's what I suspect.
Right.
I believe
Right.
it was against tribalism, which is very clear.
Right.
But we're talking about explicit hadith that condemn basically targeting, say for example, black people. I say that the only school of thought in the whole world, including Christianity and Judaism, etc., of the mainstream world religions, including Hinduism, which I believe in a caste system, including maybe by the way, Sikhism might be another exception, to be fair to them, yeah? Because they reject the caste system. I'm trying to be as academic as possible. So Sikhism might be another exception. But with that, I say that Sunnism completely rejects, racism, and is most racially inclusive. Of all of the ancient world religions, it's number one. So I say to you now, can you find me anything within the Shi'Ah literature which explicitly condemns racism to black people in particular? I can find you that in it says لا فضل لعربي على أعجمي ولا أحمر
ولا أسود على أحمر.
أسود. Okay. It says there's no fadl of an Arab or non-Arab or a black over a white. It says that.
Simple, very simple, clear.
It says إن أكرمكم عند الله أتقاكم. We have it. We have it in our books. Can you show it in yours?
Sure.
Inshallah, let's leave it inshallah for next week.
I don't know.
Let's leave it for next week, inshallah.
So before the Sheikh leaves, I just want him to read the Arabic, so he can read it from. So can you read it out loud, please? Because since you're an expert in Arabic, since you're an expert in Arabic, please read it.
Hold on, now here. Which book?
It's the book you mentioned earlier.
Which book?
Shi'Ah Maqasid, I think it was.
Which book? And get me the book, please. What I'm reading, yani.
Okay.
Because I don't want to read the statement of kufr.
So he's getting the book of Imam Shafi'i's book, apparently.
Apparently Shafi'i. So it's not Shafi'i, yeah?
Sorry?
So he's not Shafi'i, yeah?
He's a student of Shafi'i, but
who's he?
Shafi'i comments on it.
Okay. Here he said, على الألسنة. This book, you know what? This is what the book. This book basically done by Sakhawi, rahimahullah. And he is saying the people, they will say fabricated things on their tongue. Yeah. And then, مقاصد الحسنة, here. Okay, Imam al-Hafidh al-Malik Shamsuddin al-Khanim Abdul Rahman al-Sakhawi. That's what we're talking about, the Sakhawi. So Sakhawi.
Okay.
Yeah,
so
and he's
bringing the scan. I'm bringing the scan.
Okay. Do you know what's the title of the book? What's the meaning of the title of the book?
No, please tell us.
Yeah. The title of the book means al-Maqasid al-Hasan means what means of maqsad? Means يعني
objectives.
The objective. Yeah. في بيان كثير من الأحاديث المشتهرة على الإنسان. To expose, to show the hadith which is the people, they will say it on their tongue, popular in their tongues. He is not talking about are the hadith are authentic or not. Okay. He is saying people, they will say it around, and then he is bringing it.
Please read it. No, I want you to read it, please, for the viewers, because it's very important that you read this. I want you to read this. Yeah.
Okay. Now here he is saying.
Go to the page before it.
So go to the page before.
Yeah, let's go to the page.
Read the context, please.
Yeah.
That one.
Now, hadith. He said he mentioned here.
Make sure you get some time, please.
Now here, let's get the hadith. Now here, the hadith, he said, إن الأسود إذا جاء سرق. He said that if the black characters, he mentioned about that. صدق السماحة means that they have, يعني they are truthful, they are kind of the, يعني honest, forbearing, سماحة وهو بن عبد العدي في كامله ومن طريقه ابن الجوزي في الموضوعات. And mention in Ibn al-Jawzi in الموضوعات fabricated one. Which he said موضوع. He said الزنجي إذا سرق. He said so it's موضوع means fabricated. وله شاهد عنده في الكبير من حديث عوسجة عن ابن عباس قال يا رسول الله ما يمنع حبش بني المغيرة أن يأتوك إلا أنهم يخشون أن تردهم قال لا خير في الحبش. So he mentioned that. He said why the people of the Abyssinia they don't come to you. Then he said that, why they don't come to you. Then the Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم he said قال لا خير. He said there is no good in the Abyssinian إذا جاءوا سرقوا وإن شبعوا زنوا if they did it. عند البائسي ورواه البزار برفض لا خير في الحبش. He said أن البزار he mentioned لا خير في الحبش. والبس وعند الطبراني في الكبير عن أم أيمن قال سمعت رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم يقول إنما الأسود لبطنه وفرجه. He said verily the black one who will take for his يعني for his belly and for his as well private part. And then he said, عن ابن عباس بلفظ السودان, he said mission in Sudan عند النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم فقال دعوة من السودان, he said there is going to be a call from Sudan, قال الأسود لبطنه, the black one for his belly and for his private part. وبعضه يؤكد بعضا بل سند البزار بل سند حسار and the سند of the Bazzar, he said they said Bazzar is Hassan والابن عيون في اسناد
yeah. So
بل سند البزار حسن hold on no لا he said he mentioned about البزار في بسند الديلمي عن طريقه عن ابي رافع مرفوعا قيل الزنج اذا شبعه من شدات فروينا من مناقب البيقي عن طريق المزني كنت مع الشافعي he said I was with the Shafi'i.
Listen to the point. Listen to this point now. Very important. This is the reason why I want to record it.
Yeah, Muzni. Yeah, hold on. Let's finish. Yeah.
He wasn't a student. Okay.
Yeah.
So
and now,
what was the point
Muzni mentioned about that he was Muzni. Yeah, طريق المزني كنت مع الشافعي. Yeah.
Okay, what did Imam Shafi say?
He said, I was with the Shafi'i. He said في الجامع إذا دخل رجل يدور في النيام قال الشافعي للربيع قم فقل ذهب لك عبد أسود مصاب بإحدى عينيه. He said there is a black man that he has problem in his eye. قال الربيع فقمت إليه إذا ربيع. He said that I stood for him. قلت نعم فقلت له تعال. Then I called him come. فجاء إلى الشافعي قال فقال أين عبدي. He said where is my slave. He said.
So listen to this story.
Yeah.
It's a very important story, guys. So go on.
By the way, do you know how you mention in موضوعات for you to know? Let's mention.
No, please, I want you to carry on reading for the camera.
So you mention الموضوعات. الموضوع. That's why you need to know. The introduction here in the beginning is talking to you about the موضوع. Yeah, all of it is موضوع. He said.
Tell us the story about Imam Shafi.
It's موضوع. Yeah, that's the problem. I'm saying to you.
I'm asking you,
Now, he mentioned that. فقال المزني فقلت له أخبرنا فقد حيرتنا. He said, tell us because you put us in a dilemma. قال نعم رأيت رجل دخل باب المسجد يدور بين النمام فقلت يطلب هاربا ورأيته يجيء إلى السودان دون البيض. He came to the black people without the white one. فقلت هرب له عبد الناصر. He said maybe he escaped for him as a black slave. ورأيته يجيء إلى ما يلي العين اليسرى فقلت له مصاب بإحدى عينيه. He said maybe he has a problem in his eye. كما يدرك أنه في الحبس. قال ذكرت الحديث في العبيد إن جاعوا سرقوا وانشبعوا زنوا فتأولت أنه فعل أحدهما فكان كذلك. He didn't mention anything about Shafi'i.
There's nothing in this.
There is nothing. There is no statement of the Shafi'i here.
Okay, so please tell us what's the story about the
story here.
Okay, please tell us the story. Go on.
This book as follows. This book is Sakhawi is bringing a hadith, fabricated hadith on the tongue of the people. People are spreading things, claiming that the Prophet ﷺ has said so.
Okay.
Yeah. So he's bringing all these fabricated hadith. This is the title of the book. The title of the book is to bring all these fabricated hadith and put them there. In the introduction, if you know it, he said Ibn al-Jawzi, he put it in the mawdu'at. Mawdu'at means fabricated ones, lied ones. Yeah. And then he mentioned all these stories about the black people and all these things. So the problem is, and you brought the Shafi'i, he said I was with the Shafi'i. It didn't say that the Shafi'i statement. This another thing. It didn't say that this is another Shafi'i statement. And then they mentioned about this hadith that they said it was mentioned this hadith in Muzni mentioned this hadith. Muzni, one of the students of Shafi'i, mentioned this one of the students of Shafi'i.
One of the students of Shafi'i.
Yeah. They said so called that Muzni was Shafi'i, and they said this one in front of him, and Shafi'i was quiet about it.
Why do you say so-called and said?
Yeah, because in the beginning, you see the introduction.
Sorry, did you say that?
You see the introduction of this?
No.
The problem, what you do, you just took this bit. You didn't read the introduction of this hadith.
I just showed you the scan.
No, okay.
Wow, come on, man.
So
I
am giving you now to everyone for the audience. Yeah. Oh, let me finish.
You're referring to the hadith.
The beginning here. Do you see this one? Do you see this one?
Down here, you said they mentioned it in front of Shafi. He said silent about it.
Yes. Do you see the beginning of it?
But he didn't object to it then, did he?
Okay. Wait.
This is the problem. This is the problem. This hadith, he's saying, people are saying such and such. People said, for example, people said in my country there is a cave. There used to be monsters living in that cave. People, they say this.
No problem.
Yeah, I will say to you in my village, people they say in such and such cave there is a monster.
The problem is, but
yeah. Okay. The problem is, but this people they will say, or there will be dragon in the thing.
Right.
Yeah. The people say. Now here he said. On the tongue of the people is widely spreaded that Shafi'i one day was sitting with his student and his student said to him this hadith and he kind of approved it. He is bringing before it, that's introduction saying that this hadith is fabricated, and Ibn al-Jawzi condemned it, and before it. Before that, Ibn al-Jawzi, by the way, Ibn al-Jawzi.
Okay, so you're saying that
Ibn al-Jawzi said all of these narrations are fabricated. Right. So he mentioned those are fabricated. And he said one of the fabricated things is this story.
Did anyone authenticate it?
I answered.
Did anyone
I answered you. I answered you.
It was mentioned in front of
now.
He stayed silent.
But it's fabricated, yeah. Just like people in my village, they say, come to see the dragon. Go there. Go see the dragon.
It's fine. What the Sheikh said.
Go see the dragon in my village, then you will know.
It's a dragon in your village?
Yeah, go see the dragon.
Inshallah.
When you go to the cave in my village, you will see the dragon. Then
no problem.
Safi is sitting there.
Inshallah.
Safi is not a dragon.
Here he's saying to you, a fabricated. Do you understand? Hold on. Is language? English is not my first language. Hold on. English is not my first language. Yeah. Yeah. English. Do you understand English? Do you know what means? It's fabricated stories.
Yes.
So fabricated story about Shafi'i. So how do you say Shafi'i approved it?
No, I didn't say hadith. No.
It's fabricated story about Shafi'i. Do you understand what I'm talking about?
What is the book Mawdu'at about?
Mawdu' means fabricated.
Hadith?
Yes.
Or stories?
Stories or hadith, call it.
From the Prophet only or
from everyone? From everyone. He said fabricated things. Did you get it?
I get it, but...
Good. That's good. That's good if you get it. That's good. Alhamdulillah, you got it. Finally.
We checked. It's fine. It's not a big deal.
Anyway,
Bro, the
we need to go, inshallah. I think we need to go,
I think we're done.
Anyway.
Bro, this discussion, to be
Let's
honest,
go,
it was I'll tell you why it was a bad discussion. I'll tell you why. Come on.
Well, let's end it nice on the
Anyway. Anyway, okay, sir. Alright, take care of yourself. Yeah? Alright, take care. Alright, take care. Finished it? Alright, take care. We'll pray.
كتاب الله دستوري كتاب الله دستوري وخير الخلق أسوتنا
بسنته انجلى نوري لهدي الحق أرشدنا
كتاب الله دستوري وخير الخلق أسوتنا بسنته انجلى نوري لهدي الحق أرشدنا كتاب الله دستوري وخير الخلق أسوتنا